Welcome, everybody, once again to the Top Row Podcast. Got Mikey. Yep. Mikey with me. I'm Gary. I know you're not a big Acclaim fan, but you know how I like to do, bro. Started off with a little scissor in action. Oh, that's a great way to start a podcast, with a little scissor in action, right?
Yeah. I don't know when the focus is in WWE, though.
right, because we are here, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about Survivor Series War Games, which was, I thought, a great way whenever Adam Pearce first announced that to build the excitement for this pay-per-view. Whenever he said that, and just everybody saying that, and just, you know, from a traditional standpoint, Survivor Series being the oldest pay-per-view besides WrestleMania, I wasn't a fan of it for the longest time, but I was super excited whenever they changed it over to War Games, because I had been seeing a lot of that in NXT over the years, the last few years, and then now it's been, 2-3 years it's been up on the main roster, and I'm really happy about the change, and I thought last night's pay-per-view wasn't too bad.
Well, you know, it was WCW is one of their biggest pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. So I thought that they downplayed it a little bit, but I was glad they brought it back up to the main roster now.
Downplayed it by putting it in NXT?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it should have been up in there. Been a whole lot better pay-per-view, you know, like the Great American Bash.
Yeah.
Even Halloween Havoc would have done good when Bray Wyatt was there. That would have been real good.
Were you a Survivor Series fan back in the day?
Yeah. I like the old traditional Survivor Series, you know. The 4-on-4s. You know, eliminating each time they wrestled. One guy eliminating to the final ones. So, I mean, but, you know, I want to see more championship matches. I'd rather have Night of Champions each pay-per-view.
Right. Well,
all the champions wrestling all the time.
Yeah, well, we did have two title matches, I guess, last night. But that's a great point you bring up about the elimination part of it. I think that's the only thing for me that's kind of lacking in this new War Game
I mean,
setup.
what are they surviving? I thought you survived down to the last guy.
Exactly, yeah. So they're still just to keep the old Survivor, so they don't just change it over to War Games, so you can keep that Survivor Series tradition going on, I guess. Yeah. But for me, that's the only thing that kind of lacks in this, because it's like, before everybody gets in there, you know there's not going to be any pinfalls. Sure, they might get in a couple of decent spots here and there, but really the excitement doesn't get going until everybody is in there. And then why not have them do the elimination?
Exactly. While it's going on, as soon as it starts, you should be able to eliminate. Like, you know, you eliminate one guy, now your team's going to be stronger the whole way.
I think the only thing for me, I think, is why they maybe don't do that is so they can protect people, so they don't make people look weak, because you got a lot of big stars in there. You know, if you get some of these bigger stars getting eliminated first or second, does that hurt them?
No, it's not going to hurt them. I mean, it'd make JD and all them look better if they survived longer, or they stole a pin where it really don't matter. You know, just in a Survivor Series match. It don't matter in the rankings or whatever, you know, just in a Survivor Series match. That's what makes Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, but overall, I'm happy about the change to War Games, the 2 rings. There's just so many different things that they can do. You know, we saw in the men's match, we're going to get to all the matches. We're going to try something a little bit different, but, you know, things like Jey Uso from the other ring, leaping across, one ring to the other, from one turnbuckle into the other ring. Stuff like that's cool. You know, that they can't do in just whenever they normally have one ring. We only see it one time a year, so it doesn't lose any of its luster by seeing it more than once a year. True. So that's fantastic. Overall, really do like the War Games and how it's been going on the past few years at Survivor Series. And we're going to try a little something different. Go ahead.
Creative could have been a little bit better on this Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I thought they lacked.
Yeah.
I thought the stars did good, but I thought the writers lacked a little bit on this. Storytelling went,
Yeah, there was a couple times that kind of got me, but then I could see what you mean on a few of the other matches. I thought the men's match was booked pretty decently. Some of the other ones, and we'll get into that.
But the men's match lacked to the women's, because, you know, it was nice seeing Randy Orton come back. But, I mean, it kind of ruined his surprise with CM Punk.
I know. We're going to get to that. We are going to try something a little bit different. Instead of our traditional grading of the A's, B's, C's, and D's, you know, we gotta make decisions. We can't just say, "Oh, I give it a C plus." I give it a C minus. Well, so you came up with, right before we went on the air, tell them about our new system, buddy.
Thumbs up and the thumbs down. Match of the night gets a double thumbs up. The not good match gets the 2 thumbs
Double thumbs down. And now we're like RVD or Sammy Callahan. Thumbs up, thumbs down. But I like that. So it makes us kind of pick and choose, what we like and what we don't like. And there's no really fine in-between areas. Yeah, we may only give a match 1 thumbs up or a match 1 thumbs down. But we got to make a decision. It can't just be right in the middle anymore.
You mentioned Sammy Callahan. Was he backstage at Survivor Series? Rumors was he was going to be backstage. So
if he's backstage, why not have him on there?
Well, they had too many. I mean, I thought Randy Orton's surprise should have been enough. They could have saved CM Punk for another time.
How about Monday Night Raw? Are they still in Chicago?
I don't know.
I think they are still going to be in Chicago for Monday Night Raw. Yeah. If not, then it makes sense to, I guess, put them on Survivor Series. But if Chicago is on Raw on Monday, then yeah, I think they should have waited because it kind of hurt Randy Orton's coming back. But we're going to get to that. We'll start from the top. Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, Shotzi taking on Damage Control. And so that was only 4 on 4. Men's was 5 on 5. More of a traditional standpoint. So do you think maybe they should have tried to sneak another member in there? Were you okay with the 4 on 4?
I was okay with the 4 on 4. I mean, great. The women was fantastic. That was the match of the night.
Yeah, it was really good, man. It was really, really great. EO leaping off with the trash can. We just seen things that we hadn't seen,
Right. And then right before. Behind that is Charlotte Flair coming right off on the moonsault.
Oh, yeah.
Stepping right on the head on the way down.
Man.
I mean, she hit EO Sky right in the head on the way down and still could have landed on her feet.
Yeah, and even some of their stuff that was going on before everybody got in there was pretty exciting. And then once everybody got in there and it was going on once the match had started, I thought, man, there was a lot of great spots. I was thinking that maybe Bayley, and Damage Control would have actually got the win, keep them looking stronger. But then I was like, oh, Bayley takes the pin. Well, guess what's probably coming next?
Well, Bayley looked strong in getting the pin.
Anyways, yes.
I thought they should have turned on her right then and there.
You think so?
So? Yeah, that would have been the best because she got beat. She got the pin.
But you draw that storyline out now a little bit more.
That's the problem. They're drawing it out too long. I mean, come on. Everybody in the building knows that Bayley's going to get turned on. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. I think they're going to reform the 4 horsewomen. I think Sasha Banks is coming back to the WWE.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, my goodness.
And that makes Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte the 4 horsewomen.
It would make perfect sense. Watch Damage Control turns on Bayley because they're going to say, oh, Bayley, you took the pin. You're the loser. We didn't lose this match. You're the reason why we lost.
And the reason why Bayley's going to get turned on is her buddy Dakota Kai is going to end up being the new leader of Damage
You think
Control.
Dakota Kai?
Dakota Kai, the mad genius of it all. She's not Japanese or Chinese, but she still is a foreigner.
She can be their mouthpiece, and we have been seeing that lately.
You gotta have a mouthpiece.
She's been interpreting for Asuka and Io and Kairi, even though who knows if she can actually speak Japanese, but she's been interpreting for them whenever they've been saying their little Japanese stuff. Then she turns around, says what they said in English, and I thought it's been working pretty good. So that could be a little prelude maybe to what you're talking about.
SmackDown, she was the one that told Bayley she was going to be in the match.
Yeah. I like where you're going with that, brother. I would sign me up. Sign me up.
That's
for that.
My prediction. Let me put it that way. That's my prediction.
I'm with you. I'm with you on pretty much everything you said, man.
The women's match, double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. Double thumbs up. Yes. I'm going to give it a double thumbs up as well, man. I thought that show started out really hot with that first match. Was super exciting. And then we get on to Gunther.
You said double thumbs up for match of the night. So you think the women is the match of the night also?
Well, maybe I'll get to the men. You think I want to go one? But what if I get to the men's match and then I give it a double thumbs up?
That's your match of the night. The double thumbs is match of the night, remember?
But what if I take off my shoe and I put out my big toe and then I got 3 thumbs?
I don't even know what thumb,
is it?
No, I don't even know what you're doing there.
God bless. So see this? Okay, well, I thought this might make it a little bit easier being not on the fence, but okay, fine. Well,
that way we ain't got to talk on what's the match of the night. Boom, we've already chose our match of the night.
Man, but But I don't know. That means that we need to talk about the men's match right now too. Then
we can talk about the men's. We got to go through it step by step. We can jump.
Oh man! All right, fine. This will tell you my match of the night is not going to be the women's match, even though I thought it was really fantastic.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up, buddy.
That's
one
good.
thumbs up.
All right.
For the women's matchup. Yeah, even though it was like it was teetering on 2. It was teetering on 2. Old school grading, I'm going to give it an A-.
Right.
Moving on to Gunther and The Miz.
Which was close to being the match of the night. I mean, The Miz put on a show,
he
man.
Did.
I mean, you got to give it to him. He put on a show. He put on a nice show. Gunther, I mean, he gave him more beatings than I've seen anybody put on Gunther right at the moment, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. I thought like I said, the first match really got the crowd going. I think those guys did a great job of keeping the crowd pretty excited, and just overall, man. I mean, I'm a Cardinals guy. I'm a St. Louis guy, St. Louis sports fan. Which we're gonna get in more of that later with what happened on the main event. Kind of interesting. Right. But with that said, I got to give it to Chicago, bro. Always hot crowds.
Right.
One of the best wrestling cities in America, no doubt about it.
Yeah. One of them. I'll give you one of them. I say Madison Square Garden. From all the way back in the day and all that. You know, they've always boomed. They've always boomed.
Yeah, and St. Louis is not a bad wrestling city either. And there are a few more. Philadelphia, another one that's great.
Ohio.
There are, but Chicago's definitely up there. So
they always put on good shows in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The crowds always interacts real good, you know. So, I mean, you can't complain about Chicago.
No.
Only thing I can complain about that is CM Punk.
Yep.
I think it ruined Randy Orton's return.
It did, yeah.
I mean, the RKO from the top of the cage was kind of weak, but I mean, it worked out. That's what Randy does, you know. He didn't do too much, you know. He didn't exert himself too much. He came in, slapped the RKO. Pretty much when he came in, the match was just about over.
Yeah, he looked great though. Physically wise, he looked great. Yeah. We're more details on that here coming up. But Gunther and The Miz, what do you give? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I give it a thumbs up. I give it a thumbs up. Like I said, The Miz put on a good show for getting beat. You know, I mean, he really did. He sold all the moves. Gunther looked shocked on his face when, The Miz was putting it on him. I mean, actually, I thought Gunther was going to shake his hand there for a minute. Just for a minute. I thought Gunther was going to help him up and shake his hand.
Yeah.
I thought he got respect out of Gunther on that.
Yeah, and Gunther's all about respect and respecting the mat and everything. So, I wouldn't have minded.
I mean, he stood there and paused and looked over him, for a minute. I thought he was going to shake his hand.
Yeah.
But once again, the WWE failed on that.
Dude, can you believe that freaking The Miz, all his Intercontinental title runs combined do not add up to how long Gunther's had the belt approaching 600 days now. That's insane, dude.
Yeah. Well, this is the era of long-term champions.
It really is. Longest reigning Intercontinental champion. Would you say he's up there and has proven himself? I mean, the numbers say so, but...
Numbers say he's the best.
The numbers do. The numbers do, but what does Mike say?
I say they're keeping him Intercontinental champion because they don't know what to do with him yet as the heavyweight champ. He will be a heavyweight champ in WWE. He will be the heavyweight champ, the Universal champ, one of the two. He's going to be one of them. Because, I mean, he's got good game. I mean,
man,
I don't care for the name, but
I think the guy that should take it off of him. We talked a little bit about it before on the podcast. L.A. Knight, yeah,
they're gonna. I think you're right there because I think to keep him relevant, he's got to have some kind of belt. Because if not, Cody Rhodes is going to have the one belt, and CM Punk's going to somehow get the belt from Seth Rollins. Or whoever's the champ at the time.
Yeah, he was looking at him at the end of the show.
I was hoping it was going to be Drew McIntyre. I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. He's put his dues in, They still ain't gave him his COVID due yet. He needs his COVID due.
But how do you have LA Knight still? I mean, even on SmackDown, getting the loudest pop. You got him mixing it up with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory and being on Kevin Owens' side. How do you not get him on the pay-per-view somehow, man?
And Kevin Owens too. I mean, But I mean, that's another thing I think they might do too. They need to split up the tag team titles. That way, LA Knight and Kevin Owens can still stay relevant by rolling after the tag team titles.
Well, why not just have them go in there and take them off Judgment Day?
Well, you got to keep Judgment Day strong.
Well,
there's going to be Judgment Day will lose And I think they'll come out and say there was an asterisk. It was only this belt up for grabs for a chance to split up the belts.
Maybe.
They need to split
They
them.
are still carrying around both of them, unlike the undisputed Universal Champion where it's just one belt. Now they are still carrying around both the tag team championships. So
well, I mean, because one's Raw and one's SmackDown.
Right. So maybe they go back to doing that.
Should end up being the Universal Tag Team Champs. And then the World Tag Team Champs.
And we already saw...
that's what it should be.
Yeah, and we already saw them. They didn't split up Roman's belt, but they brought in another belt with Seth being the World Heavyweight Championship. So basically you did create another world title, so why not split up the tag team?
And they did the same thing with the women's. One's the World Champ, one's the, you know what I'm saying, WWE Champ.
I wonder if that's why they've been having them hold both those belts and carrying them around, that we may see that here, maybe sooner rather than later. So, going through the Miz, I think we're both in agreement that
thumbs up.
Miz did a great job. I thought, I didn't think there was any chance in hell that the Miz was going to win.
Not at all.
That kind of borderline me on maybe being a thumbs down. But like you said, I thought the Miz put on a heck of a show. Great title defense for Gunther. Looked great. So thumbs up for me there. What about Santos Escobar? Oh, double thumbs down right out of the way. Not even going to talk about it.
Shouldn't even been on the pay-per-view. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, taking on Dragon Lee. Well, and you know what? Whenever Carlito got beat up, Carlito got hurt because he was supposed to be the guy taking on Santos Escobar, which would have made a little bit more sense.
I'd probably still get a...
It would have made a little more sense storyline-wise, consider everything that's been going on with Carlito, but you kind of throw Dragon Lee into the mix, and he's got a nice storyline with him, always looking up to Rey Mysterio, carrying Rey Mysterio's mask around with him in his bag that Rey gave to Dragon Lee. So that storyline, him coming in there and replacing Carlito, I thought it made sense from a wrestling standpoint because I don't think Carlito could still go with a guy like Santos Escobar. So I thought wrestling-wise, it made sense. It was a solid match. Yeah. Santos Escobar's getting a decent amount of heat. He's been doing a good job so far as a heel.
I like him being a bad guy.
Santos?
I do like him being a bad guy.
So your problem with it, though, just too quick, too soon. Dragon Lee, not quite there yet. Just not really deserving of a pay-per-view match.
I mean, that's a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown match. It's not a pay-per-view match. I mean, Ray might make it a pay-per-view match, but Carlito didn't. I mean, it just shouldn't have been on the card. You could have put Kevin Owens and LA Knight in there.
Yeah, against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
Yeah, I'd rather see that match. I'd rather see that match,
okay. I'm not going to go double thumbs down, but I am going to go single thumbs down.
Okay.
I don't really want to, and that kind of makes me want to go back to the grading system because I don't think it's too bad. I didn't think it was too bad. So can I just stay neutral?
Give it a thumbs up, yeah. Yeah, neither way. No
thumbs
thumbs
up.
Just go
like this?
Yeah, too pissed.
All right, good. And now I'm back to being able to cop out.
There you go.
Yes.
It's like your C grade.
Yeah.
The piss is like your C grade.
Yeah. I give it about a C+. Yep. Worst match of the night was the one that followed that. Rhea Ripley defending against Zoe Stark. I thought Zoe had looked good coming into this match, but again, one of those situations where you knew she didn't have a shot in hell of winning, but at least maybe she could have looked strong, had a good performance, but that's not what happened, man.
I mean, they botched so many moves in the beginning. Rhea Ripley covered her at the end like, Rhea Ripley does.
Yeah, I don't know what was supposed to happen when they were both on the turnbuckle, and then Zoe kind of landed on her feet, and then you could kind of tell they didn't really know what to do right after that because they'd already botched that, and you could hear her kind of tell her something. I thought it was
supposed to be a Spanish fly.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but, I think they slipped, one slipped, and they just went down. Even the announcers didn't know what was going on. They was like, I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, and that's bad whenever that happens. Double thumbs down for me on that one for sure.
Yeah, just one thumb.
Just one thumbs down. Okay, all right. And now we're on to the main event, the men's war. Let me hear you. I want to hear you. Can you give me that?
War game.
Not bad. I'll give you one thumbs up.
All right.
1.5 maybe. We got Cody, Sammy, Jay, Seth, and Randy Orton. Is he going to show up? Is he not going to show up? He did eventually show up, taking on the Judgment Day. Your thoughts on our main event, brother?
Well, for one, I didn't care on if he was going to show up or if he didn't show up. I thought the one you didn't trust was Jey Uso, not Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can't trust him. What I would have liked at the end of that match if he just started RKOing people. It didn't matter who it was. Whoever was close to him, just RKO him.
Yeah.
But WWE's fashion, they spoiled a good ending by bringing out CM Punk.
Yeah, I agree. I think it hurt
the
Randy
cancer
Orton
is back in the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, Are they? I mean, I guess they're going to be. They had to have a long talk with him after what happened there the first time, and then with what happened in AEW, man.
I don't know what Hunter's thinking, man. Why bring him in? Let him go TNA or one of them, and put him down a level or two. Now they bring him right back in. He's going to take all the LA Knight spots. He's going to take LA Knight spots. So we ain't going to hear a bunch of yep or get in any good title shots.
Yeah, for somebody else's
His
spot.
heavyweight title shots are over when CM Punk showed up. I mean, in WWE fashion, he's probably going to wrestle maybe one match and he'll get a title shot, which is bogus. I mean, I hate old stars coming in doing this stuff. And I can't believe Triple H, why he went so young in NXT, has came out and done this again.
Dude, I mean, it would be one thing if he could still, I never thought he was all that great a wrestler. He was decent back in the day, but he did not prove anything to me at all in AEW wrestling ability-wise.
But he's got
trash.
Game. He's got game.
On the mic.
Yeah, that's all you need on the mic, and that's all you need now.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I'm praying. I know it probably not the case. I'm hoping and praying, though,
it was
that it's just a one-off because they were in Chicago.
Yeah, but why promote him?
But Punk probably wouldn't have agreed to that.
I mean, Randy Orton's pop was good.
It was great.
Didn't need CM Punk's pop. I thought it hurt the show.
Did too.
And, the match didn't even live up to the women's. I mean, it had some good spots in it, but it seemed like 4 was beaten up, and then they'd team up on one, and then here comes these 4, and they'd leave them laying. I mean, it was you could tell it was too choreographed. I mean, why have 4 people getting beat up at the same time on the same team? Why not mix it up? Let 2 get on one
Well,
but I mean, it was just too predictable.
Well, yeah, I think towards the end, whenever Randy was getting to come out, the buzzer goes off. We're kind of waiting a little bit. So I think for the Judgment Day to be in control at that point made sense because they had just put Rollins through the table, man, and they kind of swerved me whenever Rhea comes rushing out with the briefcase. I was like, oh my goodness,
that would have been nice to see a cash in.
What's happening here? So that kind of swerved me, and then I'm thinking, oh man, maybe Randy Orton's not going to show up after all. Maybe he's going to cash in. He's about to hand it to him. It took me off the trail just long enough.
And then they popped Randy Orton.
And then they popped Randy Orton. It made that pop even louder, so I thought that was fantastic.
But you didn't think it was predictable?
Well, I know, not the cash-in attempt.
No, but I knew that it wasn't even going to happen because I knew that was the pop for Randy Orton. I knew that was the pop for Randy Orton.
Dude,
I knew it. I seen it coming. I told the old lady that when we were sitting there watching it. I said, here comes Randy Orton. She goes, who's that? I said, that guy right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it threw me off the trail long enough that I was thinking, oh my goodness, he's going to cash in right now. I still thought, but then, the closer he gets to hand in the briefcase, I was waiting for, honest to God, I was waiting for it to be CM Punk's music. Is what I was waiting for. I was hoping not and praying not, because like I said, I'm a St. Louis guy, so I thought, oh boy, it's either going to be one of those two, and then I'm like, all right, sweet, we got the St. Louis guy. Yes, we're not going to see CM Punk at all. Awesome, great. And like you said, man,
I knew Chicago, man. I knew he was coming.
The pop was so loud for Randy Orton, and I thought that's why they had to bring a guy back like Randy Orton, is because they weren't going to get CM Punk, so they wanted to bring a guy in to make sure that our baby faces aren't getting booed whenever CM Punk doesn't come out. But then the show's about to go off the air, and then he comes out, and then he just does some, what is he doing out there? I mean, I guess he's kind of looking at the guys in the ring that were, maybe he's going to come after them, but he just went around hugging the fans, and then it just cuts off in the middle of him hugging the fans. Well, he didn't do nothing.
Actually, I knew he was coming out because
really? I didn't think so.
Broke in on his show right before I watched the thing that in Chicago, CM Punk will appear, and I have to give a shout out for Angle for that. Good call, bud. You got it right.
See, I can't do it. I hate that. More power to you. You like doing that, but no, kayfabe for me, buddy. Kayfabe for me. I don't want to know any spoilers, any predictions, anything like that.
I mean, he didn't say it was 100%.
He was just guessing.
But he was just doing just like I was with the Dakota Kai, and he got it right.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just didn't. I wasn't happy to see him. I don't think he's good for the locker room. Good for the. I mean, he gets a pop. Sure, he was one of their big superstars back in the day. He may help ratings a little bit, but I don't need him on my TV. I'll tell you that.
It's the same old yawner. I mean, it's the same old theme song, same old pipe bomb thing. I mean, it's the same old, same old.
You know,
I mean,
well, what would have helped it even more? I thought what hurt it was the fact that he did go back to AEW. The fact that he did come out of retirement after all those years and then was in AEW. So I think him coming back to WWE, we already seen him back in wrestling. So, I mean, cool. Yeah, he comes back to WWE, which is where he had all the problems in the first place, you know, with the pipe bomb and all that stuff like that.
But he's a draw, and that's why they pulled him back in.
He is. There's no denying that.
I mean, look at Cody Rhodes. He was fading out in AEW. Fans was turned against him. They brought him back over here. Pow! Popped him right off.
Yep, sure.
But
did,
CM Punk is better as a bad guy. He don't need to be a good guy. He needs to be the bad guy. And ain't Seth Rollins a bad guy? I mean, can you tell is he good or bad? I mean,
no, the crowd's always singing the song and everything.
He's bad. I mean, yeah. But they're wooing Ric Flair and Charlotte, and they're bad. You know, they're bad guys.
You're right. No, it's just definitely being presented as a babyface. But they might turn him bad if that's what you want to do.
I think Seth is kind of on the fence. So. One day he's good, one day he's bad. It just depends on who he's facing, I guess.
No, I would say pretty much full babyface. I think his pops lately have been waning a little bit, just a hair. But I thought that they were right back up to elevated level in Chicago. I thought they were just loud the whole dang night, man.
Right.
But so I know that CM Punk did for me hurt Randy Orton's comeback, but I think Randy looked great. I'm a huge Randy Orton fan. Well, so for that simple reason, even though wrestling wise it wasn't maybe quite as good as the women's match, but trying to swerve us with maybe the cash in and just everything that happened, I am going to have to give that one my match of the night 2 thumbs up.
But they missed out. I mean, they could have made J.D. McDonough look a whole lot better. He could have done some of the high-flying shit off the top rope, off the cage. I mean, they could have made him look better.
Yeah.
I mean, but it really didn't. Hey, I mean, it was just, wow. I don't know.
You didn't like
I didn't care much for it. I mean, not the men's, no. It was just hitting people in the head with chairs, kendo sticks. I mean, at least the women was flying.
They were a lot more creative in the women's match than the men's match.
I thought Seth Rollins at one time when he was on top of the cage was going to do something, but no, JD jumped up there and pulled him down.
You didn't like the RKO from the top of that?
Well, JD like I said, that was kind of missed on that. I mean, I thought Randy missed it. I didn't think he called it all. But, I mean, coming straight off the cage on your head, it's a 1, 2, 3. He should have been pinned.
Yeah, but I thought the announcer did a great job presenting that after that Randy said it was Cody's time, so that's why they let Cody hit Damian Priest with the crossroads and get the pin.
But I think they missed the ball. Why not pin? I thought JD McDonough or Dominic Mysterio was going to be the one pinned over there, you know what I'm saying? Never thought one time that the good guys wasn't going to win, because they was going to win. Yeah. Judgment Day can take the loss and survive. But why are you going to pin the Money in the Bank guy?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it hurts. I think it does hurt Priest a little bit. Yeah.
You know.
But are they doing that on purpose, bro? Because Priest is the leader now. They can kind of say, dude, you cost us now.
He was just a leader at War Games.
He was. That's true.
But I think Damian Priest is on his way out of Judgment Day.
So maybe that's why he took the pin then, just like old Bailey.
If he does, that means Drew's got to step in. And when Drew steps in, it's going to cause controversy. Because Rhea's going to pay more attention to Drew, and Dominic's going to be pissed on the side.
Yeah.
You know, because Drew's the big Scottishman. She's, Australian, She seemed to be rubbing on him and like him, so, that's a little bit more controversy they can do.
I like it. And I do love Drew McIntyre as a bad guy.
He's no, man. The 3-2-1 stop was, I just didn't care.
Not a fan. I was hoping, then, like you said, COVID hit and everything. He didn't really get his moment as a baby face.
And he's not going to now with CM Punk there. Yeah. CM Punk's still in a whole lot of people's spotlight, and I don't know.
Drew doesn't have to do much different to be a bad guy, but it's a little small things that just make him so much better, in my opinion.
I think he'd be better to go ahead and join the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and he lets Priest go out, let Priest get the title off of Seth and go out on his own.
No, I think they'll stop him from that. I think the Judgment Day will prevent.
You think we're going to see a failed cash?
I think that's when the turn's going to happen. Because I think when he goes to cash in, Drew McIntyre might claymore him, take over his spot, probably become the leader of the Judgment Day. Probably, but I think Rhea Ripley is, even though they say they don't have one.
Right, no, definitely.
She's definitely telling them what to do. She's my me.
My me. Yes, sir.
But, I
yes,
mean,
sir.
I'm disappointed from the pay-per-view. I mean, like I said, the first match was the best match. All the others was mediocre. I mean, you leave out Kevin Owens, you leave out LA Knight. Yeah. You know, I mean, come on.
I feel you. I'm just trying to forget about that. Man, I wish I would have just clicked it off. I don't think the graphic had quite got up there whenever seeing, but they were real close to putting that graphic up. When then you hear CM Punk's music, I wish I would have clicked it off just a little bit sooner. Then my grade would be a little bit higher for the pay-per-view. And I do want to give an overall grade though on the pay-per-view. What do you think?
Man, I say from the first match after that, it went downhill. I give it a B. I'll give it a B.
B?
Just because of the Miz. You know, Miz stepped up. First two matches was really the only ones worth watching.
Yeah.
The other one's predictable. Knew what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think I was at probably an A- before we saw CM Punk. And after we saw CM Punk, I'm going to have to go B+. I'm going to go just a little higher than you. I went B+. But not a bad pay-per-view. I mean, definitely better than the last one.
But Randy didn't have to pass. He should have just pinned him. Everybody knew that Randy pinned him. No, it's a legacy, you know?
Yeah.
It's the legacy.
Yeah. I mean, but it keeps. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting him to pin him definitely, and after such a great, I do see what you're saying because after the RKO off the top, that should have been it. Boom, boom, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Are they making allies since we got a whole lot of fashions again? Could we see a reemergence of the new legacy? I mean, with Randy and Cody, maybe bringing in two more younger guys to pass on like they did when Triple H and Ric Flair brought them in. I mean, that would be good. I mean, we got a lot of passions. Why? And to fight off the Judgment Day, they could bring Damian Priest after he gets turned on in with them. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's all assuming.
It's a legacy. He's not very old guy. So, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do.
Who would we bring in as the young member of this new legacy? Someone from NXT, someone already on the main roster. I mean, popping off the top of my head, a guy like Carmelo Hayes comes to my mind.
I think Dragunov, the NXT champ.
Oh, Dragunov.
You gotta have all them, younger guys.
Well, Carmelo Hayes is younger. He's in NXT.
Yeah, but he should be over more like with the Hurt Business or whatever they call themselves now.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And he's a little more seasoned than Dragunov is anyway. So you bring him up, and then he really is just kind of under their wings of this new legacy. If that does where they go, we'll see.
Well, I'm hoping. You never know. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. Will they do it? Probably not. But I mean, it's a good idea.
I mean, it keeps it gives a Judgment Day somebody else to keep going. I know we're out of the Survivor Series now, but
you could actually
got warring factions.
You could actually bring in the signer, whatever his name, Braun Breaker in NXT. You could bring him in as a legacy, because he's a legacy from the older school people, just like Randy Orton,
and
Cody Rhodes is. He's a legacy also. You can bring also, instead of Dragunov, you can bring Brian Pillman Jr., which is King.
Lexus King, yeah.
Lexus King. Now he could be another legacy, being Brian Pillman's them four right there. So you got a tag team with them two young kids, and the other two running singles.
I like it,
so,
man.
I mean, that'd be a good idea. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that happens.
I like it, but all right, that's our thoughts on War Games. What about AEW right now, man? You've been staying up to date on that, catching that, or have you been hitting that clicker on that?
They've been kind of dropping the ball, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
Turning into kind of a B-rated show.
Now, I mean, I always think it's kind of been for a little while there. It first came out, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is exciting. Really do like it. And then it kind of dropped off a little bit. And then they keep bringing in these big names, so you're thinking, okay, maybe this is going to get up there, be just as watchable as WWE. But for me, it's still down a notch for sure. There's no doubt about it, even though you brought in guys like Adam Copeland recently, and before
that's what brings them down.
You think so?
Yeah, that gets it for me, man. I mean,
the dinosaurs.
It's once again, it's taken away from younger kids. That's putting the time in all the time, and you got your dinosaurs in. Then what was the name they changed Luchasaurus' name to?
Kill Switch.
Oh my goodness, that's like Retribution when they did their names and all that,
Dude, I was okay. With it because I thought they were going to take off his mask and then he was going to be called Kill Switch. But they just changed the name. No, his attitude's the same. Everything is exactly the same with him. I think they should have took off the mask, man. If they're going to change the name, take off the dang mask.
Change the character up,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was going to turn on him because what happened on Dynamite, and then he turns around, gets in Christian Cage's face, but then Adam Copeland comes out, and then, well, Luchasaurus leaves with Christian Cage. I mean, I guess that makes you maybe want to tune in next week to see what's going to happen, but it just didn't make any sense after that you got a babyface in Adam Copeland giving a concerto to Nick Wayne with Nick Wayne's mom in the freaking ring.
I'm giving it a yawn because, Christian and Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, I've seen it. Done there, been there, done that. I mean, it's just, wow.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the dinosaurs, man. It's time to let the new blood in.
Are there any dinosaurs that you do like?
Yeah, the ones that manage.
What about this guy? I got my stinging.
The ones that manage. He's more of a manager than he is a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not on there every week taking Darby Allin's spot. He's passing the torch.
He's wrestled a lot of matches and has done a lot of crazy spots for his age. Unbelievable.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's here and there.
But when the win comes, it's Darby getting it. You know what I'm saying? Darby's getting the credit. Darby's getting the limelight. It ain't Sting coming out and helping and saving him. But he's not getting the limelight. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his spots here and there, but Christian, I mean, the whole time Luchasaurus was champ, he carried his belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luchasaurus was a little business, But
what do you think about old Ric Flair being in AEW? Woo!
As long as he stays the manager, I ain't got a problem.
Yeah, God bless, please.
Yeah, please don't let that old dinosaur. I mean, he's my favorite of all time.
Have you?
But I mean, he don't need to be in there wrestling.
No, God, no. Have you? Maybe if he drinks a whole bunch of his woo energy that he's got.
There's no. I mean, that's all he's there for is promote that.
Yeah.
Now, they need to put him in there with Andrade, and let him be the manager.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they was going to bring him in the beginning, and then he had that little video, Plane Ride from Hell, so AEW stayed away from him. But, they just need to bring him in as the manager.
Man, I feel you, man. You got me thinking now about these dinosaurs and stuff. It's like, yeah, because, I mean, I haven't been a huge fan of Adam Copeland or some of these other guys being in there either. And it's like you said, maybe it's just because we've been there, we've done that. I know I get why AEW is trying to do it, get more eyeballs. You got more well-known names and everything, but
they
I'm
didn't
kind of
need
with
that.
you.
They was home breeding good stars.
Right,
I mean, they really was. I mean, even they were starting to put across Jack Perry after they took the Jungle Boy away from him and turned him heel. They was finally bringing him in. I mean, Orange Cassidy. He still is a young kid. I mean, he's got his own little gimmicks. I might not like him, but the crowd does, So, I mean, they got a lot of young stars.
He's great.
I mean, Wardlow.
Wardlow lately, though.
What's his name with Jake Snake?
Lance Archer. I love Lance Archer, but they have not pushed him at all.
I mean, they make him out as to being a tough guy, and he never wins a belt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he never wins a belt. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just, I know, but yet you love the Blackpool Combat Club. Bryan Danielson's he's a dinosaur.
Yeah, but he's on his way out.
John Moxley's a dinosaur.
John Moxley ain't a dinosaur. Then you got to call Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins a dinosaur.
Yeah, you're right. I
mean, Bryan Danielson, but he's not stealing somebody's spotlight. You don't see him holding a heavyweight title or none of that. He's trying to put over the younger kids.
Right.
Bringing that Zack Sabre Jr. kid, he even put him over. So, I mean...
Will Ospreay being in AEW, that does excite me. I was really, really hoping he was going to go to WWE, though. I think he is that big of a star. He could have went right in there, put him up against guys like Seth.
Well, let me tell you what they'd have done. They would have stuck him with Grayson Waller and one of them and made him a joke.
Probably.
That's what they would have done with Will Ospreay.
Well, what's AEW going to do? They're going to do...
I think they merge him in with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
there's some older fuddy-duddies,
Probably.
Young chap.
I mean, but he's main event caliber. Could definitely vie for a world title very, very soon.
AEW bothers me, man, because they'll bring in new guys. You'll see them one or two times, then you don't see them. You got great guys back there like the House of Black, and you don't even hardly see them anymore.
No.
good gimmick and all that.
We've been seeing a little more lately, bit more lately, especially with Julia Hart winning the TBS championship. I love her, man.
She's that's only nice. See,
22 years old.
I missed that. I missed that. I guess. Or I just
she's won the TBS championship. I think they got the new Continental Classic going on right now, where a bunch of pretty solid wrestlers. It's a round robin format. They fight each other once. The only thing that's kind of cool about this is it's something different because there is no outside interference. Everybody is banned from ringside, so it's pretty much clear-cut winner every time. Like 3 different Ring of Honor World Championships, so yeah, you do have that. Eddie Kingston let go of his Ring of Honor World title so that they could, hey, Mike, wake up, we're doing a podcast,
we're talking
bro.
about Ring of Honor.
right.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's for those 3 belts, so, the prize at the end of it's not very good, but it is going to be some decent quality wrestling with a lot of pretty good guys in there, but yeah, my excitement level on has not been very high either.
Here's what they need to do. They need to do like WWE did, kept 1 belt, World Heavyweight Championship to Ric Flair had. They kept that. They can keep the TV title and just abolish all the rest.
Well, just
abolish ROH.
Keep the ROH World title over the TV title.
No, because TV title leases on TV every week. Wrestling, you're seeing it. There's another championship that you never get to see. I mean, there's enough championships in AEW. I mean, if you ain't got a championship in AEW, you just suck.
No kidding, man.
Because everybody's got them. Everybody.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's 12, 13 belts in that league.
Commander came out with some kind of AAA cruiserweight belt the other night.
I do like that they're coming from different organizations and other leagues. I do like that.
Well, so if they're coming out though and they are the champions of these other organizations, should they not be bringing out their belt or at least be acknowledged that they're the champion in those others?
They do. I've seen they do bring some of them out.
They do. That's what I'm saying. But then it's like we're having title matches for all these other different belts, and you just way too many belts in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I do get to say AEW does have a lot of championship belts on the line every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
But I mean, it diminishes.
There's just too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah, and I think it hurts him by having all those belts because it's like, oh, cool, here's another title match for this belt.
Who is even a tag team
title match for that belt?
Who's even Big Bill and
Ricky Starks.
Okay, they get no props. I mean,
they're not very good.
The 6-man gets more clout on TV than the tag team titles do. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, lately though, I feel like the Acclaimed
it's the Trios champion.
Yeah, Trios.
And they got a dinosaur in that.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn, they should have let him leave his boots in the ring.
Maybe that's what we're going to see with this Continental Classic, though, is because there's like 3 different belts. Maybe the winner of that will just be
another belt?
One. No. So it's those 3 belts. They're vying for like 3 different belts. So maybe after that, they'll combine all those belts into one. So we'll see just a little bit fewer belts in AEW.
Let's just say we're sorry, ROH fans, but you guys suck.
Yeah.
We're closing this place down. At least WCW was better than ROH. They could have kept that as an off-brand instead of NXT.
WWE, yeah.
That could have been 3 shows right there. I mean,
I thought that's what they were going to do back in the day whenever that happened, and they didn't do it. But
no, Vince just wanted to get rid of them.
Well, let's talk about the main champion of AEW for a second, MJF. He's got guys coming at him from every different angle.
He's hurt, too.
And he's hurt. Yeah. So is he going to be, how long is he going to be able to keep the belt?
I think Samoa Joe takes it.
Samoa Joe, you think takes it because MJF is hurt? Is he well enough to wrestle?
Yeah, I think he's going to be well enough to wrestle, but I think he's going to lose it to him just because he needs to heal up, take some time off.
Yeah. Okay, see, I like to stay off the dirt.
And that keeps the bidding war
know that,
for 2024 all, still have him on the show, still have him talking, but talk about the bidding war.
Yeah.
If I don't get the title shot, maybe the bidding war of 2024 will go differently. Maybe
if there's even a bidding war, if he's not already re-signed.
Yeah, well, I heard he was re-signed, but
I think
you never know.
I think so. Who do you think's under the devil mask? Is it Adam Cole? Is it Jack Perry? Is it somebody else?
I think it's Adam Cole.
I think so.
I think it's Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Why would it? I think it's Adam Cole. That'd be the perfect spot. Betrayal.
Turn him into the heel.
Turn him back into MJF because he's getting too stupid. I don't like a good guy MJF.
I don't either.
No
I don't either.
I mean, that's like trying to put Ric Flair to be a good guy. That's the difference between. That's why I think Rick's the greatest of all time. His character never changed, even if the crowd cheered him or they booed him. He was just Ric Flair. He didn't do no dumb shit, no buddies or all that,
Right.
It's just, I don't know. They got a good character in MJF. Don't turn him to a good guy.
Yeah,
he's got to be the bad guy.
I mean, they've made it work for the most part, but just because that's how good MJF is, and he can do good, bad, whatever. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it was way better whenever he was a heel.
That's like
they should have kept him
Drew
as a heel.
McIntyre's got to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
They're just got to be the good bad guys, and they're good bad guys. Drew McIntyre, MJF are good at being bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, what were they worried about, that the crowd was going to cheer him? No, the crowd was totally buying into loving to hate him. Yeah. And loving to boo him every single week.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting cheers here. I mean, I guess sometimes he got a cheer here or there whenever he was a bad guy, but for the most part, he was doing such a good job of making him hate him.
Because people like him as a bad guy.
Right.
I cheer him being a bad guy. I don't cheer him being a good guy.
Well, I mean, see,
I want him to do bad stuff. I don't want him to do friendly go kiss the baby stuff.
Right. I guess not everybody can be aware of it whenever, like, if I go to a show and I like, if he's a bad guy and I love him so much, but I know he's a heel, then I know my job is to boo as loud as I can because he's a heel, even though I actually love him.
But his catchphrase is he's the devil, on the level with the devil.
Right.
The devil's not a good guy.
Right. No, he's not.
Nowhere.
He's their scumbag, though.
Yeah.
But he's not their devil. I guess he is their devil.
Yeah,
I guess a bunch of devil worshippers.
I don't know. I guess. You never know.
But, yeah. I mean, so I just want to throw in a little AEW talk there, but this has been our Survivor Series War Games recap.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being on here with us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Double thumbs up.
Yes, the double thumbs up.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
God bless.
Good night.